let's just quickly show that our KPI, the one we just did, on a card, right? We show the KPI on a card. So we bring a card. Let's just pick one of these cards. Let's pick one of these cards. Let's place this up here. Okay, take this out. No percentage change, KPI. Okay, net income KPI. Okay, this is positive. Okay. I also do some editing around this KPI. I take the category away. The data label, I reduce it further to, let me say, 18. Okay. Fine. So then I just drag this to this point. Okay. Let's even take everything to 0 and see if it gives us flat. Let's test the KPI. Okay. See, 0 is still showing green. That means what this implies is that there are some little decimal places somewhere. It's not exactly 0. So when we see this kind of case, this is what we should do. Let's go back to, we are using, what did we use for our KPI? The change, we use the change in income. Yes, we use the change in income for our KPI. So what we should do with this change in income is to round it to 0. So we just put a round formula here. So that rounding it to a whole number. That's 0. Let's see what happens now. Okay. This should change to flat. Okay, you can see it has changed to flat. That is when it's 0. But this is gradually taking shape. So let's just do some alignment on this, our slicers right here. Let's do some alignment on these slicers. Move this down a bit. Yeah. Because I'm going to put headers. So adjust this. Okay, and bring this figure close to it. Also, the same thing for all this. I just move it downwards a bit so that I'll have a little space for the labels. Okay. Okay, and this a bit upwards. Now, bring this a bit downwards. It's aligning. So let's quickly let's label this. So like I said, I don't like keeping category labels on some charts. Let's take our text box. Let's call this when we change, when we change expenses by, okay. So we highlight everything, we change the color, the font size to white, then we remove the background. Okay. So this is when we change expenses by. Copy this. Okay. Put one copy here. Okay. And I put another copy here. Bring another copy down here. Okay. So it's when we change expenses by. The second one is when we change items sold by. Items sold by. While the other one is when we change price per item. Item by. Okay. All right. So now we can now confidently click on the three cards and remove slicer headers. Ah. Well, the next thing we want to show is just to show a monthly trend, a monthly objective of what, whenever we change, what do we need to achieve monthly to actually meet a particular objective that we are setting for ourselves. Let's just use a table visual to just show that monthly trend. We are going to show the net income, the simulated net income, and the percentage change in that net income. Let's see, let's use a metrics table. I go to my calendar table, dim calendar. Okay, go to my calendar table. Then I bring my month, put my month on my rows. I put all my measures. I said I'm going to show net income. Place it here gently. So again, I'm going to show net, that is simulated net income. So my simulator, I go to my simulator and pick the net income simulated. Same revenue, same net income. Place it there, just under, just place it under. Then again, I pick my percentage change to know how much, by what proportion are we to grow by. If you also want to see how much are we to grow by, then we can also include the change in income. Okay, everything is still 0, 0 because we have not changed anything. So now we just design the table a bit. So the style, change the style to none. Style to none. Then I take out the background color. Then I focus on all the colors. So alternate color, uh, outline color, and all that. I just change everything to font color should be white. Here, white also. I just change everything to white, really. So row headers, so that it will be visible to the eye. Font color. Oh no, I don't want to put a white background color in there. So no, it doesn't make sense. Let me revert to default. Revert to default. Then font color is white. Okay. For values, font color is still white also. Then alternate color is white also. Then we move to our totals. Okay, so total is white. I think we should be good at this point. Okay, not yet. The grand totals. Grand total, font color is white. So our table is okay. Table is good. So another thing that we can do now is let's even see when okay this one that has no month is here. Let me just take it off. It might be from the that might be from the data source itself. Let me just take that off so it will not distort what we are doing here. So I can just decide to put here on this page, not here. Let me use something that is text. Let me use quarter for instance. So I just take out blank. Oh, select all, take out blank. This should work. Okay. Hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah, should work. Okay. So now, if we think this is blocking me, yeah, we can either use the scroller or we can just type in directly. Okay, let me just adjust this a bit. So that it won't block my use of the scroller. For example, if I increase my price by item by 24%, yeah, and I drop my expenses by 8%, and so this second one is expenses, the second one is unit item sold. How am I still saying expenses there? This item sold. Items. Items sold. Right. So, and I keep my items sold flat. So I'll be 47% better than I was, than I am now. Let me say that I am now because this is so I'll be 47.25% better. So just by changing my price per item by 24% and dropping my expense by 8%. So I'll move from 44 million net income to 66 million net income at still selling the same items. But what I did was just to increase the price and then drop my expenses. You can see that my expenses dropped from 32 million to like 30 million. So one thing we've not done, we've not put the Naira format in all this, all what we created for our simulators. Let's just quickly do that. Okay, simulator, KPI, the solid expense, net income, and revenue. That's what we have the Naira sign. So currency, change that to currency, and we'll look for the particular currency that we want. So 1 Naira. Let's come back. That should have changed to, okay, Naira signs are there now. So should impact is stable as well. Okay, our change in income. Yeah, that is another one. So I can just do that here. But there are multiple ways to do these things. So our change in income. Okay. We can also make this currency Naira sign. So let's just put Naira currency there. Okay. This is all about creating and building a financial simulator. You can still build other simulators. So instead of, you can build like a sales simulator. If I increase my sales staff by this percentage and I increase my outlets by this percentage, what will be the outcome? So it's not only financial, you can do sales. So you can do transactions. So if I increase my number of campaigns to customer by maybe 5%, or if I increase a specific campaign by a specific percent, what will be the impact on my transaction? So many scenarios really. Another thing I'm going to show you, that would be the last thing. So that would be bookmarks. So for example, you have a meeting, right? So you have a meeting that you don't want to be adjusting all this. You just want to present what you have and just show these different scenarios. So you can create what we call bookmarks. Yeah. So let me take this back to 0. So we'll just come to our view. We'll click on, let's unclick on filters, then we'll click on bookmarks. So we'll just add a bookmark. This is at 0. So we'll just add a bookmark and name this bookmark. Let's rename it. Just call it 0. That is it. Now let's change. Let's say you simulate for an objective. Change expense by 14%. Let's reduce by 14%. Then increase items sold by, let's say, 2% or something. Let me just type it in. 2% will be 0.02. 2%. And then you leave your price per item flat. Yeah. So you leave your price per item flat. So you just get to that objective. So that objective is like a 41.64% change in income. Yeah, which is an equivalent to 18 million in the year. Yeah. So okay, 56.23 by changing expenses by reducing by 14% and increasing your items sold just by 2%, then keeping your price per item flat. So this is the impact it will have. This is the impact on expenses. Expenses dropped from 32 to 28 million. The items sold increased from 7.2 million to 7.4 million. Revenue increased from 77 to 98 million, and so on. So net income increased from 44 to 70. There's an increase of 56. So you want to maintain this scenario. So what you do is just to add another bookmark, and maybe we call this, just rename it, and call this maybe greater than 50% increase. So income increase. INC income increase. So you can just, for example, Instead of me coming back to change here everything to 0, I can just click on this 0 here. Then it returns me back to 0. It returns everything as is. So it's still loading. It just takes everything back to 0. You can see 0, 0, 0, all this gone. So this is still loading. And if you want to take it back to 50% increase in income, all you just have to do is click the 50%. Then it will come back to the 50% increase in income, that same scenario. That is, you can create multiple scenarios as you wish, really. Create multiple scenarios so that, okay, you are in a meeting, instead of you adjusting this, you can just come here, click, click, click. If you want to return back to default, and you press 0, you go to 0. 0 will take you back to the, okay. Let me see this. Oh, it seems this has not loaded properly before I did this bookmark for 0. Let me remove, you can remove the bookmark. So let me delete this. Let me do the 0 scenario again. So this to 0, this to 0. Price per item. Oh, I changed price per item to currency. No, this should not be in currency. This should be in percentage. So maybe while I was changing, that would be here. Let me go to my simulation tables and see the one that is not. It's not supposed to be in naira. It's supposed to be in percentages. Expenses is okay. Price per item. Aha, this is it. This should be. It should be in percentage. Percentage. This also should be in percentage. Okay, this is in percentage already. Okay, should percentage. This value also should be in percentage, not naira. So I might probably have just clicked something. Okay, this should be in percentage, not currency. Okay, just watch out for this sort of things. Let's make this 0 and just create that bookmark that will just return us to default. Let's say add bookmark. Then let's call this 0. 0. So once we click on greater than 50% income increase, we see what it is. Once we click on 0, so it returns us back to default 0. I can also adjust these bookmarks. All right. So you can just create multiple scenarios. Let me just create one more. Let me say let me create a loss scenario, expense by 20%. So maybe I drop my sales. Oh, this is already in a loss scenario. Let me say I increase my sales, or I drop my sales by I increase my sales by 2%. Then I drop my change in price per item. I drop my selling price by, let's say, 22% is too much. Okay, let me just type it in. Let's say I dropped it by 4%, 0.04. Okay, 0.04. So I dropped it by 4%. Okay. Or I increase the price per item by, okay. And then, so it is showing us that, so, and an increase in expenses by 20%, items sold increase by 2%. I'm increasing across board, but for the fact that my expense was too high, it's too high. So I come up with a loss scenario. Let's just add this. Let's do another bookmark. Let's say 4%. Let's call this 4% loss. So I can go back to zero by just clicking this. Then greater than 50% by just clicking this. Gives me that scenario. Then 4% loss by just clicking this. Gives me that scenario. So there are other features and all those I can still do around this dashboard. But I think we should stop here for today. So it has been a nice experience for me. So I want to, now I'm going to allow you to unmute so that I want to get maybe one or two feedback from everyone. So if you want to unmute, you can just unmute and just give your feedback. All right, let me see.